A big stack of bills that get bigger each day.
My question kind of relates to image. I know you mentioned that San Francisco city employees, or I guess those that work in the mayor's office and some of the people he's hired, are making comparable to other cities and the cost of living in San Francisco. But I see companies laying off lots of employees. Look at the Chronicle, look at lots of companies that are downsizing drastically. Companies are asking employees to take cuts. You're asking unions to renegotiate contracts and take cuts. You saw what happened with AIG last week in the public outcry. So it wouldn't give a lot back, but the image would be, I think, phenomenal if you offered to take a 10% cut. What if the Board of Supervisors said, we understand our constituents are hurting. We may not be making a lot of money, but we could survive on less money. We're going to visibly tighten our belt as you're tightening yours, and it might go down much better. What do you think?
Well, I've actually I've asked to forego my wage increase for next year, and I'm considering furlough days as well. I don't make over $100,000 a year like a lot of other people in the city. We have probably thousands of people who make over $100,000 in here, and just making that decision is very, very difficult. So I've already made that sacrifice. I don't think I can do 10%. I think I would be in foreclosure, and I'm worried about that even now, to tell you the truth. So, but I do understand the sentiment, and I put that out there early on, and I think some of my colleagues on the board have done that as well. And I know that Mayor Newsom had done that in past years. I'm not sure if he's done that recently, and I think that message needs to go out again, because I don't think enough people are saying that. I think there's actually members of SCIU 10-to-1 and individuals who come forward. The problem is that we have, our labor unions are, large entities. There's a lot of, different constituencies within our labor unions. To come to agreement on things is very, very difficult. If there's right now labor's at the table, 10-to-1's at the table to negotiate their contract, and they have leaders of the union who are there, but whatever they agree at the table, they have to take back to their membership to get ratified. And whether there's unity to make that happen, I don't know. And it's a very complicated issue to be able to come up with that. But I agree with the sentiment.
If sees you doing it yourselves, they would possibly be more willing to vote for it.
Yes, and I made that point. I think it's important that I do it again. I would come out again about that.
We're all hurting.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion, I think the rank and file is already there. The employees that I've talked to, at least at Rec and Park and Public Health, I think that they would deal with the furlough days, or they would give back a portion of their salaries, or the increases in their salaries. Because at least some of the ones I've talked to, I'm not saying it's a large group, right? But I've talked to some employees that would give that up to save their friends' jobs or others. But I think the conversation we've had, the mayor's office has said, we need you to give that back, and we need to lay people off. We can't give you both, right? So it's been a different conversation for labor unions to have with their employees that say, if you gave back the wage increase, I can't guarantee you there's not going to be layoffs. So I think the employees are.
Which makes it difficult at the table to be able to negotiate, because there's that fear that's really there. But I think that's kind of how it has to be happening. It's just very hard to do.
And of course, here. A couple of quick questions. Why is the hotel room tax? Why did that go down so much? And is Texas encouraging a lot of jobs? And I have another.
So our unemployment rate compared to other cities is better. We're doing pretty well, right? We were always traditionally below what the state average was. A lot of counties are getting hit a lot harder than we are, in part because we have a diverse economy, right? It's not, a lot of it is the tourist economy, which is the hotel tax, and that's down significantly. When the dollar was the way it was, a lot of people were coming to San Francisco for both vacations and conventions. We haven't lost a lot of conventions business compared to Las Vegas and Denver, right? We're still doing pretty, we haven't done as bad as they have, like dropped as much as they have. So we're still doing pretty strong, and we've also taken some measures to improve our convention facilities to make sure we're competing well long term. So that's some good news, but the overall thing is it's down. The average daily rate is down, and the amount of visitors is down. But again, our airport is doing better than other airports, but it's still significantly down.
The dollar was down last year, so significantly. So why wasn't the hotel rooms more booked up, say, last year?
Well, the dollar got stronger.
Well, last year, up until about beginning of December, our hotels were doing great.
Yeah.
And then after whatever the tanking of the economy in October, when McCain said the fundamentals of our economy are essentially sound, and he was proven wrong, everything tanked in our economy then, and so we haven't had the kind of influx of tourism here in San Francisco that we were experiencing. So we're not seeing the kind of people come into the city anymore, and we're not getting any hotel tax from that.
You might want to start charging for tours of City Hall. People love City Hall, and it's completely free. Concierge services, I mean, San Francisco is like the gay wedding capital of the world, and so, San Francisco really should do more to capitalize on that. The cable car, everything, just got to focus more. I mean, you can raise the revenues, and I'm sorry for people who are handicapped, but, you're losing right and left. Because, blocks and blocks, all the cars parked have handicap parking. And they sit there all day. And they can't put tickets on the cars, and they don't put money in the meters either.
Thank you for your suggestion. Any other questions?